Greetings and welcome back to the Community of Sword role-playing session, Curse of Silverthorn. But depending on how things go, they might not even get to Silverthorn. We'll see what happens. Because if you remember last time, our intrepid adventurers were on a river barge or a boat barge thing that got waylaid by certain creatures of the Fae, and it was a very desperate time, but they survived, luckily, and it was all the fault of their companion from the Fae. Last time we had kind of checked in, you had gone ashore and you were discussing your plans about what you were going to do. And so if we could kind of pick it up from there, because I your character, Matt, which is Talon.
Yeah.
Talon was a bit worried about why exactly were they called on this mission, and what your plans were going forward.
Yeah, so I've got a sneaking suspicion that we've been set up to take the fall, basically, to fall into a trap. So I've suggested, and I think that we have disembarked, and we've set up camp and defended ourselves as much as we can with sticks and brush and stuff on the banks of the river until sunup, because I'm fairly convinced at this point that these things that have been attacking us are very much creatures of the night, and I feel that I need sun to feel some degree of safety. So I feel like we should just stay here, defend ourselves, do a bit of a Rorke's drift, and wait for sunup.
And what are your thoughts, Sir James, and also William?
Well, Sir James is up for having a fight anyway. I mean, he nearly jumped off the boat trying to rescue the mule, if you remember. So he's his blood's up, and he was bellowing as the boat was rocking madly. So he's probably quite filled with adrenaline at the moment. But he's not very bright, so I think he'll just point him in the right direction and have a go. But I don't think he's got many cycles going on in his brain at all at the moment. He's just sort of partly expecting to have to fight. I think he's going to allow the thinking to everybody else, quite frankly. He's standing there with his armor and his sword drawn, and he's probably thinking defensive thoughts. But other than that, I don't think he's particularly worried, or even conceives that this might be some kind of trap or double cross or whatever. It hasn't occurred to him.
And I should mention, if you're wondering what is happening to Alithea, Raph, Metatron's character,
yes.
You can't see his camera at the moment, but he is here with us as well. So we'll also ask what Alithea is doing. But William, what was your character's? What is he doing at the moment and his thoughts?
I'm busy. I've got a ditch to dig. I've got a brew on. I've got some water in the cauldron. I've got a stew heating up. I've still got to get more firewood. And everyone needs drinks, of course. And then, of course, everyone needs a bed. And sir, he's just standing around in his armor. So I've got all his bedding to get out and get dry. He doesn't need to appreciate that, but it all got wet in the barge. So that's all drying in front of the fire. But they need to stoke the fire again. And I need to make a frame to hold it off the ground because it's just going to get damp again. And that guy who hired us for this thing is as dodgy as a rude word. I mean, notice he's completely obsessed with other people having sex, particularly people of the lower orders having sex. Every opportunity he has to make some reference to that, he takes. The guy's a weirdo, and he makes all sorts of references to the king. I don't trust him. I said this to Talon. I don't trust him. The guy's a git. Anyway, I'm busy.
So Alithea, what are your thoughts on what you're doing?
I would imagine that my character is really trying to focus on these creatures, the fairies that were being attacked by. Is there anything that I know about them? Like, how intelligent are these creatures? Do I know?
Well, you're somewhat more familiar with them than, of course, people in the realm. But having said that, elves don't get along too well with the fairies in the Fae anyway. The fairies are troublesome beings at the best of times. Okay. And so you basically... You know that they exist, they're very real, and they're a significant problem. You know some of their likes and dislikes. For instance, you knew that they didn't like loud noises and bad sounds and things and stuff like that. And so you know the basic safety measures of fairies. And you know, when talking to them, it's very nonsensical, but that's kind of about as far as your experience. There might be a couple of elves and other creatures in the Fae that are far more familiar, but yourself, your knowledge is basic for someone from the Fae.
Okay, well then I suppose that since I understand that as long as my elven silver stuff, like my sword and my breastplate, as long as they are hidden, we should be okay if we take measures. I kind of agree with the idea of taking some time to rest and then resuming our journey. Now, awareness abates.
If we do remember, one of the safety measures that you all put in place at the end of last session is that you hung out iron around the perimeter of your camp to try and ward off fairies. The unfortunate result for Alithea at this time is that it's put the smell of iron everywhere, and it is making you feel very sick. Like very queasy. Like your character is not appreciating what's around him in this environment at the moment.
So I've got something in the iron cauldron which I can ladle into with the iron ladle. I know how to look after ill people. I've done it loads. I'll soon get him looking right as rain. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Right
as rain. He needs to go to bed, doesn't he? Basically, he needs to go. He just needs to roll up in his bedroll and go to sleep while we worry about what's going on.
Oh, bedroll.
Now, Fintred has seen William making dinner, and he approaches her. Well, I see you're making some dinner, so I don't want any of that peasant rubbish in there. So, specifically, we don't want any poo. I know you peasants like to throw in poo to fill out no poo in this meal. It'll make me sick.
I shall do some poo-free stuff for you, specially.
Thank you. Good. I shall be over there, ruminating on the nature of peasants. He kind of looks at you and is like, it's odd things. Walks off to do exactly that. To ruminate. So as the night progresses, the meal obviously gets done. So William, you mentioned about handing out the meal now that it's cooked. Things are progressing. Now, I will just quickly make a destiny roll. I got a 12 in case anyone is wondering.
I believe him.
Yeah, so you just I didn't change anything. It's a 12. Everyone, like those of you fine people watching, you'll see the dice cap, so you'll be able to see it. So basically, the night is progressing as normal. Everyone make a perception roll. Raph, you are going to get a -2 on your perception because you are feeling rubbish. Right. Really.
Okay, can you roll for me considering my condition? Thank you.
Of course.
So how many dice are we rolling? I've got a +1 on perception.
Yeah, so it's a base of 3, plus your attributes, plus any skills that you have in addition, and that'll be your total perception.
Hits on 4+, yeah?
Yes. Okay, Matt, what were you able to roll? And Jason, do you want me to roll for you?
Yeah, if you could roll for me, yeah, but he's not very perceptive, to be honest.
I've rolled a four dice above 4.
Oh, wonderful. And all right, so being very aware of what's going on are those of you. So this would be William, Talon, and Sir James. So James actually got a decent roll as well. You're not hearing any giggles or anything. In fact, the forest seems oddly quiet, except for the creaking of branches in the trees and the odd ruffling sound of what might have been some woodland creature. But you also notice that the rivermen and the captain, they are sticking on that boat. They are feeling very uncomfortable and they're huddling down. But also trying to make some repairs they can. They're tying ropes and things and making preparations to get underway. So they're ready to, they're not liking this place.
Can I address them?
Yes.
You men, why don't you come ashore and help us?
Oh no, we're not going ashore. Not going ashore. That's where those devil creatures come from. We're not go. You're crazy. And they're not moving.
Are they coming then? I've got to cater for more, have I?
We got our food. We'll eat over here. We'll eat here. We're fine.
Do we don't really need them. Do we need them? Do we need the boats? Do we worry? I'm slightly moving. I'm thinking for Sir James now. But
Sir James, I would suggest, Sir James, that if we can can get them to come ashore, then our own security is improved.
Right, I shall go over there as the leader of men that I am, and command that they come on shore, tie the boat up securely, come on shore with the complete conviction of the type of person that Sir James is.
So that is going to take a persuasion roll, and so the challenge level is going to be difficult, but it's also going to be resistance. So you're going to have 3. I'm looking at the wrong character because I'm not sure your character didn't have 2 on intelligence. There we go. You've got a -1, and
Intelligence.
and you've got no persuasion skill. So we'll roll that. But you got 2 wins. There we go. They both came up. And then I'm just going to roll 4 things. I have to subtract 1 win from you, unfortunately. And now, just for the nature of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They rolled 6 wins in opposition.
So I take it my persuasion, my skills of command.
Yeah.
Me again.
So I would like you to try and role play your persuasion attempt, but basically everything that you say is something that convinces them to stay on the boat more, where you think is a perfectly valid and logical explanation for them to come and join you.
Gentlemen, I'd like to persuade you to come here. We're going to have a glorious fight, and I think there's a very good chance that some of you will earn a lot of strong reputation, and will go down in history having succumbed manfully to the things that were attacking us. But I think that will be good for you. I think I would just like to suggest that you will definitely benefit morally and if not physically. From fighting and dying with us, and the pain will not last for very long, I'm sure. And if you are in pain and not dead, I will kill you to save you from dying for a long time.
The captain is just
persuading. Gentlemen, you look slightly. Dare I say that you're not very willing to fight and die with us?
I'm happy to leave the dying to you, sir. Yes. And he, it just turns and starts working on the boat more.
It's your language, sir. They just don't understand you. Another drink.
Oh, thank you. They just don't have enough vim and vigor within them. The boatmen.
I know what it meant, sir.
Watery, I say. Watery they are.
Good boatman, if we're to survive this night, we need you to tell us anything you know about these waters, these creatures. Have you ever seen them before?
Oh, we've only heard the sounds in the night, and nothing like this. Nothing like this. I got what to do. You stay on the land if you want. That's fine. That's your. I'm going to stay on the boat. Okay.
William. I drag William aside by the collar. William,
drag me, sir.
What do you think's going on here?
Well, then they're in the boat. They're scared. He's a knight.
I mean, these creatures.
I heard them talking. Did you hear them talking? I heard them gleefully announcing what they were going to do and what they'd done. I heard them saying, "Oh, I've skewered him. I pricked him with my thorn. I got him in the eye." And so got him in the eye. One of them said that nasty things. Anyway.
I don't know if this is some kind of trickery, but what do you think they want?
I thought they were just evil little beggars, sir.
There's something specific that they want, but we need to know what.
Pinchard comes up thinking, "What are you saying there, Talon? Are you saying something attracted these crazy creatures?"
Well, of course. Why else would they have risked their lives to attack us? Unless we had something that they wanted.
Maybe they just like a good fight. I mean, there's good chaps like fighting. I mean,
I have to be honest with you, Sir James. That is a possibility, but they're very small.
Well, I knew a chap that was only 5 foot, and he was an absolute brute in the tournament. Very hard to hit. He was much lower than the lance. He could duck.
But these creatures were not wearing armor. there's something unnatural about their desire to attack us. It doesn't. I don't see what's in it for them.
Well, if they're after something, you'd think they'd be attacking again. But I guess if they don't like the iron, that could be warding them off.
I don't know that they were risking their lives. I don't think that's how they saw it at all. I didn't see.
Did we kill any of them? Did we kill a single one of them?
I think I killed at least a couple of them.
Did you, sir?
I feel like I did. I feel sure that I did.
He didn't, but his character can think that.
Did Sir James? I mean, he was flailing around, so presumably he would know that he didn't have any contact, as it were. With them. So he would. Yeah, he would. He would definitely like tricky little blighters. They're hard to hit. They should stand still and take it like men or beasts or something. Dodging is very, very unbecoming of a warrior.
In my travels, I have heard tell of pygmies, and I think this must be what they were. They were certainly small.
Were they flying and glowing pygmies, sir?
I don't think that they were flying. People can't fly. They weren't flying at us. They must have been swinging from ropes or something.
I just can't think. If someone told a story about pygmies that could glow and fly, they probably would have mentioned the glowing and the flying.
I have heard tale of creatures which can glow, and indeed of fungus and other kinds of chemicals. And I feel there's some trickery at work here.
Maybe there's small chaps carrying lanterns and being flung from small trebuchets amongst the trees. That would be tactical.
I think that's perfectly plausible. I think this is the sort of thing we're dealing with. Someone's trying to trick us, and I don't trust these ferrymen that we're with. I don't trust these boatmen. Why won't they come ashore? What are they leading us into? Nothing adds up here.
By the way, Shad,
the only people who did get killed were boatmen. So,
Shad.
Well, even the best plans sometimes go wrong, don't they?
Yes, Alithea?
Well, my character, making sure he's not heard, it just very quietly says, catapults and lanterns, humans.
Well, there's paint as well. You could paint yourself bright white or lime wash, and that would probably look like it was glowing. And from a distance, people are much smaller, so maybe they were just further away than we expect.
I must confess, Sir James, that now that my blood is cooling and we've had a few moments to gather our thoughts, I'm feeling like a fool. I feel like we're being made fools of, and someone out there is laughing their socks off at us.
Suddenly Finchon starts laughing his head off. I'm sorry, Lady Alithea, but you look awful. It's like it's something. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, it's probably something I had for lunch.
Oh, well, get some of this down you, and you'll be right as rain. There you go.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
William, address the boatman again. Boatman, do you have any objection to us staying here until dawn?
You can do what you want. We're just staying on the boat. I'm consistently bad with his accent. I'm just sticking with it. This is a character trait.
Let's share out keeping watch. Let's have at least 3 people awake at any one time, but we need to get some sleep or we're going to be exhausted.
All right, fine. The boatman says, all right, we'll take the first watch. You just go to sleep and we'll keep an eye out. I'm not sure we're going to get any sleep anyway here.
William, is our bedding ready?
Yeah, two ticks, sir. Yes, very soon.
Do you get to move on, won't you?
Now, Alithea, William did hand...
You might like it, sir.
William did hand you a nice steaming pot of bowl of soup.
Is the bowl wooden?
The bowl is wooden. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't cooked in anything wooden though.
Do I know if I can eat something that was cooked in iron?
You don't know. I want actually roll a perception, or I could roll a destiny dice to see if you've eaten something out of a.
Yes, please.
All right,
yes, please.
I'll just roll a destiny. Let's see if you've experienced this.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Humans and their iron.
I rolled a 3. So
That's very good, right?
you've never eaten anything made out of an iron container at this point. You've foraged. You mostly eat fruits and vegetables and things, stuff that you're used to.
Yes.
But not so. You think this is fine?
Well, I'll give it a try. I'll start sipping it.
Has an odd taste. What did you put in it, William? Just out of curiosity, what type of soup or stew did you make?
Trade secret.
Trade secret. Wait. I shall roll a destiny.
It's a little gritty, William. I have to say, I've had better soup. This one is a little gritty.
10. I got a 10. So it's not horrible. It's not great. It's just bland and average, which is a bland average stew.
It's beetroot. That's what it is. It's beetroot.
But nothing you taste, makes you gag or throw up. It's like it's a stew. It's like human food.
Well,
right?
yeah. Well, I know. I eat it, but very, very slowly. Like maybe, I eat a spoonful, then I wait 15 minutes, see if I'm poisoned or whatever, and then I try again.
Down your thought.
Yeah. After 10 minutes, because you were waiting after you ate it, your bowels suddenly twist like horribly. Like there is something coming and it's not solid and you feel horrible.
Oh my gosh.
I think I can hear some rumbling or gurgling coming from the forest.
See, now you gentlemen will be happy that we got off that boat. Hey, Alithea, go into the woods, man.
Don't go outside the iron.
No.
Oh no, I do. Yeah, I'd rather face the fairies.
Is he going into the woods? Because I'll happily sort of wander in his direction and try and look away or something. Just
like FYI, I'm pretty convinced that we're having a trick played on us by feral pygmy children at this point.
Fintred runs up to Alithea. Make sure you go armed. It's a dangerous place out there. Here, take this dagger. Take this dagger with you.
Oh no! Is it iron?
It's of course it is. It's a steel dagger.
Crying out loud.
Like you must take it. It's too dangerous.
Do you have a spear? At least it's the ratio of wood and iron.
I don't have a spear. Does anyone have a spear? Talon would have a spear, but Fintred is insisting. Take it, man. It's my dagger. It's a good dagger. I'll serve you well.
Oh my gosh! No, thank you. I'm I'm really good with my hands. I fight.
Alithea, you're going to need to make a physical check to maintain your control.
Okay.
So you need to roll a 3 plus your strength if you have any.
Did you put any extra points on bowel control?
I never actually thought of high having bowel problems. This is a completely new thing for me. I suppose high elves get food poisoning, but wow.
Let's roll.
It's just 3. The challenge
I'll show you
level.
my mastery. I'll show you the mastery of elven bowels.
I think it would probably come under acrobatics, wouldn't it?
Challenge level at the moment is 1. So all you have to do is get at least 1 win on your roll, Alithea.
I'll get a 20. I'll show you. But you roll.
Oh, I'm rolling for you. That's right. So
please, yes.
It's just 3 base dice.
Good.
All right, you got 2 wins. Okay, something really twisted down there, and I was like, oh, so Alithea, you just have to make this weird face and just try, but and stay. You maintain yourself. And Fintred's there, looking at you like, what's wrong, man? My goodness, look. He puts the dagger into your chest and is like, go quickly before you make a mess of yourself.
I go quickly. I drop the dagger as soon as I leave the iron perimeter.
Oh, great. In the dark. We'll find that easily.
All right. So I need to just roll something. You're leaving the perimeter of the iron. Yeah. Oh, no.
I did accept the offer of Jason, though, as my bodyguard.
So Jason is going with you.
His armor right next to you. He can support you, hugging him to you in his arms.
No. He said he's going to look away and keep my privacy.
I rolled a 2 on the destiny dice.
Oh no!
What a way to go! What a way to go!
What a horrible way to go!
So, both of you roll a perception as you're doing that. Well, I shall roll for you because I've got the dice here.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
William, I think you're going to be cleaning armor soon.
And
I'll be fertilizing the armor.
I just have to jump in and wash it off.
So, Alithea, you are very preoccupied at the moment, so you're not paying too much attention. But Sir James of the Tower of the Gilded Bear, he is alert, ready for whatever may come. But it only takes a couple of, steps into the forest away from the encampment and the iron perimeter that you hear a rustling in the forest nearby. Sir James hears it specifically, and a growl.
Hurry up, man. There's something definitely coming. You better pull your trousers up and come back. Come on, quickly.
Did you bring a torch with you, Sir James, or are you in the dark?
I probably forgot.
Okay, no torch.
Do I roll a check into Bowel?
Yes.
Efficiency to hurry up.
All right, I will. Just to see this one, I'll let you do. It'll be a reflex check, and if you want,
Reflex.
I will let you add your. You have a proficiency. Where is it, Alithea? So you have Scholar of Fate, Arming Sword. Didn't you take something in like Blade Dance or something?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
I don't have that written down.
It's there.
Okay.
It's there.
So you have like a blade dancing kind of proficiency. And so I'm going to allow you to add that proficiency to this check as well.
To dance in a way
to dexterously empty your bowels.
Oh my gosh.
You got it. Okay, yes, you succeed. You actually very proficiently drop your trousers.
I do a backflip as well.
Are you actually
Totally wrong.
Hang on. Are you serious?
No.
Because that one will require a check, sir. A dice check. Do you want to try and back?
No, I'm not doing
You want to do a backflip with run at the bottom? You're just asking.
I'm just imagining. I'm imagining one of those spinning sprinklers, except just brown.
How do you know it's brown? Maybe it's green.
Everything looks dark in the dark.
Maybe it's luminous. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll give up on the backflip, although it would have been epic. But yeah.
Okay. So you gracefully drop your trousers, and basically it explodes. Just.
I'm having apples and pears for the next 20 years.
James actually, because Sir James has got his back to this happening, and he hears this noise, and he immediately turns around, assuming some monstrous beast is making their way through the woods as a result of this hideous noise he's just heard. It's like, my God, there's a dragon coming or something. I just heard this hideous honking, squawking, squirting noise. It's revolting.
As you turn, Sir James, I rolled sorry, that was the stealth check, and now I'm rolling a perception for you, Sir James. I'll just quickly grab the character. It is 3 plus 3 -1, and that's it. So there we go. Sir James, you look into the darkness, and you see movement, shadowy movements, and more than one. And you hear growling. It's a canine type of growl. Forest.
That's not me.
And it's not Alithea.
Your bowels are making a terrible noise. No, I'm going to grab him. I decided that we need to get back to the place. So before he's had a moment to actually pull his trousers up, I'm going to grab him by the scruff of his neck and sort of manhandle him back towards the iron perimeter, whilst he's trying to finish and possibly pull his trousers up at the same time. come on, man, you can do it. Let's get back. You've had a moment. So I'm dragging him through the undergrowth, and he's probably, well, I don't know what he's doing.
Yes, what are you doing, Alithea?
I'm doing up my sophisticated buttons.
Yeah. And I'm dragging you probably slightly too fast to make that very easy. So I have visions of a high elf with his trousers around his ankles being dragged by a thuggish knight back towards the camp. And I think there's a smell from somewhere that I recognize from the battlefield.
Smell of death.
As Alithea is being dragged, what do you have covering your ears, Alithea? Just to double check.
The hood, yeah, the hood.
Okay, luckily the hood
my hair.
The hood stays in place. I rolled a destiny roll to see if that got knocked off in the process, but luckily for you, you're able to keep a head on while you're being dragged by Sir James. But Sir James, that growling is pursuing you, and indeed, but you are aware of what's happening, and so you actually have 2 reflex, and so you perceive what has been chasing you. These are definitely wolves, and you hear the crunching of the leaves and the grass very closely behind you. Something was pursuing you, and it has now jumped. You hear the distinct sound of a jump and a growl, and being aware of combat and trained in these arts, you know that a wolf has just launched itself to try and attack you. How do you respond?
I will push Alithea back behind me towards the camp and say, "Run, man, there's wolves," because I recognize them. Call the camp, there's wolves, and I will turn to confront the thing. I had the sword in my hand, so I hope that I'll be able to kind of, grab it or deflect it and maybe stab it at the same time.
Absolutely.
So I'm confronting it, basically.
All right, attacking, not a problem. So I'll make a combat roll for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very decent. And then I'll just quickly roll for the wolves as well. That. Oh, you easy. So as you spin around, you basically you get a level 3 victory, a combat victory, which means you have some options and you get to choose what you will do and also explain how it plays out. And so you can either do a serious injury on this wolf, or a medium injury, or a minor injury. So you have such control that you actually, in the motion, can determine how lethal you want that strike to be. Or if you want, you could trip him, or you could disarm him if they had a weapon, enter into close combat. But those are your options. What would you like to do, sir?
How many, when I spin, how many are there?
You see another 4 behind the one that had attacked.
Another 4, so there's 5.
There's 5, but this one was the closest one, and
so I will have to do a lethal,
a serious injury.
Yes. Serious injury while backing towards the camp and assuming and bellowing for help, bellowing for backup, and telling Alithea to pull his trousers up and run.
The wolf yelps in that canine pain sound as the blade sinks deeply onto the side of its head. Doesn't kill it, but it was a very serious attack, which also knocked the wolf away from its lunging strike. You probably would have been protected because I assume you're still wearing your armor as well. Yes. Yeah. But still, better to not be even bear the risk of being attacked. And the wolf rolls on the ground in that yelping, sound, which causes the other wolves to hesitate. They run up to where that wolf landed, but stop in their tracks, growling, kind of circling around you as you are, I'm assuming, holding your weapon out and backing up. Now, for William and Talon, could you make a perception roll to see if you hear anything? There's a challenge level 2.
6.
Oh, definitely. And Talon?
How many dice am I doing?
So you have, it's 3, plus your attributes, which will be 2, and perception, which is 1. 6, all up.
6.
One thing, Shad.
Yes.
So I don't run back. When my trousers are put, I kind of go back to where Jason is trying to help him, to support him in combat. I have no weapon. So do I see that Jason has got any other weapon on him? apart from the sword is drawn?
I assume you do. You would have what, something like a rundle dagger ready on the ready. So
Yeah, definitely. At least.
So I scream to Jason and I say pass me the rundle dagger. That's what I do.
And I'll say, take it from my back. It's in
Okay,
a back.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that and I stand in like ready for combat.
okay, so first I'll roll a destiny to see. Oh, you got a 20. So
Okay.
you grab the dagger at a perfect angle where you don't touch the metal,
Good.
plates
Good.
on either side, and you don't get burned as you retrieve the dagger, and you're holding it kind of gingerly and carefully, but it is there. What did you roll, Talon, for your perception?
I only got one dice above
Only got one.
4.
You don't notice a thing. You are basically still looking at the boatman, just wondering, this is odd. But William definitely hears in the distance a cry for assistance and some trouble.
Mr. Tilstone, they're in trouble. I can hear something.
What?
There's fighting. I don't know. There's a kerfuffle.
Are you sure?
Right.
Are you sure about that, William? Are you sure it just wasn't the bowel? You know, that effeminate-looking man's bowels emptying? Certainly looks
No.
out of
I look him
sorts.
straight in the eye, and I try to get so that the fire actually illuminates me, so he can actually see me properly. I look him straight in the eye, and I say very, very unequivocally, no.
So presumably I can grab a burning stick out of the fire by way of having a bit of light.
Yes.
So I'm wearing my sword and my knife. So I go running off in the direction of wherever William's telling me the trouble is, with my burning stick and my sword.
And William, what are you doing?
I've got a lot on. Unfortunately, there's still stew in the pot. So if I'm going to use that as a makeshift gong again, I'm going to have to empty it. But is there some hanging iron that's quite big? So if I hit it with the back of the spade, it'll make a nice noise.
No, I got a 1.
Oh, I don't have to waste the stew. Well, I'm not wasting the stew. Well, I'll just pour it out just quickly into the bowls as quickly as. Oh, I probably wasted some of it because it's dark. But there you go. Now I've got this thing to whack and make noise.
Wonderful. All right, so I'm now switching back to Jason and Alithea. So James and Alithea. The wolves haven't attacked. They've been kind of circling as you assume. What have you been doing, actually? I'll ask you in the meantime.
Well, I was trying to back towards towards the camp as best I can. Sort of going backwards through the woods is quite difficult, but you've got to keep facing the threat. That's what he's been trained to do.
Excellent.
So where Alethea's there, so he'll be. I will say, Alithea, help me back up. I will keep looking at them. You look where we're going, and you sort of stick close to me, and let's just back towards as briskly as we can, but show no fear, man. Show no fear, because they're animals, and we are much better at fighting than them. But we are as briskly as we can, getting back to the thing. And then I'm also shouting for William and Talon to say, "Are you coming, gentlemen? We could do with some help. There's some wolves. There are 4 wolves that I can see. And we're coming back, but we're doing it slowly."
You do?
Yeah, can you give us some idea of the distance between the parties here?
It's actually not too far. We're
How far away did he go for his ship?
Yeah, we're looking at about 30, 40 meters. And so it's not too far. And before long, with Sir James backing up with Alithea and, William and Talon venturing into the forest, and Fintred is going with you. Fintred, he's pulled out a dagger and is like, "Dastardly wolves, I'll gut them all. In fact, we're going to make yourselves a nice wolf skin suit out of this." And you meet Sir James in the forest, and now you heard the kerfuffle. Sir James was calling out for help, and that helped you find their location quite easily, even in the darkness. But you meet them, and as you do see 4 wolves kind of circling and growling. What do you do?
So I'm just going to run straight at them, waving my burning branch and with my sword in my right hand.
Alrighty, so I shall roll. Essentially, it's kind of like a persuasion attempt as a type of intimidation. And there's going to be a couple of circumstantial things that'll affect the roll, but I'll roll that for you, Talin. And so that's 3 plus 2, and you also have an additional 1. And so you got 3. And I'll quickly just see what the wolves' disposition is with a destiny roll. It was 18, that's in your favor. And then I will roll for the wolves. Oh, okay, so they scamper, basically. As you run in with this fiery stick and aggression, the wolves kind of see it, they back off, and then they hear kind of a yelping, submissive sound, and then they turn and they flee back into the forest.
Are you okay, Sir James?
We got one, but I think Alithea has stubbed his toe or something. He's still making grumbling noises from somewhere. But thank you very much for that. That was very efficient.
I start poring over Sir James to check that he's okay and check that all of his equipment's still there.
Everything seems
fine.
Thank you, Sir James.
Not there. Right. Yeah.
My God, what's that stench?
Must be the wolves' bowels. I definitely hurt one of them, and it's probably done what doggies do.
Awful smell. Seems type of smell that when you walk amongst the peasant houses and things. But of course, I have to tell you, when you go into my lord's chambers in the guardrobe at night, certainly a smell there as well.
Has Alithea pulled his trousers up yet, or are we?
I suppose so. Yeah.
I assumed he had.
I mean, it's not that complicated.
But he wasn't going to scare any wolves off with that.
So
we make our way fairly briskly still, because I don't trust those wolves. I think they could come back. So let's get back into the perimeter and form a defensive perimeter and build a palisade more or something.
I have to say, gentlemen, Sir James, I do wonder if we should get back on the boat.
As you return, roll perception. Well, it's not going to be hard to miss, but anyway, it's a 1.
4.
4? Well, most of you will get it, but some of you, of course, will be oblivious to the fact. I'll roll for Sir James. James.
I got 3.
All right, so basically you all notice. And Raph, I will roll for you.
Thank you.
Yes, you all noticed almost immediately when you return to the camp, the boat is not there. And in fact, those of you who got the higher roll see its shadowy outline downstream.
Oh, they abandoned us.
They're gone.
It's over there. Look, you can just see. You see all the reflections in the water. Look at the bit where there are no reflections. It's there.
Where are our possessions on that boat?
I think I got pretty much everything ashore, sir.
We said before last session that we bring stuff on. So we got some.
Okay.
You got a decent amount onto the shore. Enough, most of your provisions. I remember distinctly, Talin, that you grabbed all your supplies and things off the boat.
Okay, so long as I've got my stock, I'm not that bothered.
I'm taking notes, Shad, my character.
Are you up to taking notes? You're still feeling awfully sick.
I try my best to take notes and write down humans with boats, sometimes abandoned humans without boats.
Fintred is beside himself. The blackguards! They've abandoned us! He runs to the shore and starts cussing up a storm. I'll bloody curse you and your mother by God's balls! And all these just yelling his head off at them, cursing and profanity, and by everything holy, he is just absolutely livid.
Is it swimmable? I mean, William, how fast are you at swimming? Could you swim and get them back? Could you ask them, try and persuade them from the river to turn around and come back?
Well, I've got a lot on.
Oh, fair enough. Talin, are you any good at swimming? Can you swim fast? You look like a man who's sort of...
I'm afraid that I never learned to swim.
Okay. And I suppose the chap from far away can't swim. He doesn't look well enough to swim, to be honest.
Can't even know if I can walk.
All right.
It might be better for all of us if he had to go, sir.
No, I'm not. I had a yes, not with my armor, and I've got a bad back as well. I'm particularly bad at swimming. I don't know whether anybody noticed that.
Well, this is a fine mess. By God's body, this is a horrible. We're stranded. And I don't take too kindly the thought of trekking through the forest back home. I don't know what to do. Trapped, abandoned, in a hellish forest full of devil creatures.
Can't go anywhere in the dark. We have to form a defensive perimeter and man the walls and get trebuchets working.
I agree very much with you, Sir James. I think we need to camp till morning and then make our way gradually back by land.
William, is it possible we can have several fires out around the perimeter? We sit in the middle and we have the fires in the perimeter so that we could see things coming, or is that too much work?
You want me to keep several fires going all night, sir?
As many as you can possibly manage.
Come on, William, it can't be that difficult. Many times I've seen castle walls with burning torches on them.
Yes.
Yes, frequent.
I go over to our Alithea and say, right, did you have his dagger? So I'll just give it him back.
Oh, I must have lost it. I apologize profusely. I think I dropped it.
I'm watching him like a hawk, trying to judge whether he dropped that damn dagger deliberately or not.
Okay, Alithea, I will roll a deception for you.
Yes.
And then, William, you'll get to roll a perception to see if...
Not great. Only 3, which is bad.
He really is looking very poorly. He needs some sort of Alithea of health or something.
Well, Alithea rolled a 3 as well, so it's hard to tell. You're not convinced though yet. You don't see a reason, like an indication that he's lying.
Alithea, can I have my rondel dagger back as well? If you've finished with it, that would be all.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you very much. I hand it back.
I have a suggestion, gentlemen. I think we should find a corner. We could sit with our backs to the corner, and that would reduce the perimeter that we have to.
The corner of this circle, sir.
Well, don't be so negative. Yeah, find a corner, William.
I'll make a corner.
Thank you. Good man.
Finchard comes back and is like, that's an awful situation. You there, not milady. Man. I'll have my dagger back. Hold out his hand to Alithea.
Oh, is this another opportunity? Is this another opportunity to make an observation?
I am
sorry.
Yeah, to try and stay closer to the truth, perhaps to help, I'll say, I'm terribly sorry. I dropped it. I was feeling really sick. So in theory, it's true.
This is true. Do you want to see if something's up, though, still, William? I'll let you still roll a...
Oh, better this time. 5.
5. You notice the difference in wording. And you're not sure if that does mean deception or not. And just to let everyone know, the way that I handle deceptions and stuff is I don't use it like it's a superpower that if you get a higher roll, you always know someone's lying, because if someone says something that's perfectly adequate, that there's no reason for you not to know otherwise, but you do notice certain tells that might make you suspicious or something like that. And so you do notice that he worded it different. Interesting. Finchard's like, blast it all. A good dagger, that. I've got a spare. Suppose it can't be helped.
Anyway.
So if I have many daggers that might interest you if you're in the market for a new one.
I am, in fact. I'm in the market because someone accidentally callously lost mine. Here, show me what you have.
When the sun's up in the morning, you can have a look at my stock and see if there's something that takes your fancy.
Good show, excellent. I shall turn it in.
I'll give you a good price.
Not a problem. Money's not an option. I need a dagger. But anyway, I shall turn it for the night and see you in the morrow. Goes in, finds a corner, and just lies down, trying to get comfortable.
So, has it been discussed explicitly why we believe that the boat has left? Do we think that they've purely fled?
I would imagine so.
The question is, which direction have they gone in? Because have they gone in the direction of home, or
they went back downstream, the way in which you came from.
Okay. So it seems to me that there are two possibilities here. Either they have fled to out of fear, or they deliberately intended to leave us. What do you gentlemen think?
Would you like me to investigate?
Fighting, and they wouldn't come on land, so I just say they're cowards and have run away.
It does give me that impression too.
I must confess, I'm a suspicious fellow. I've known some interesting characters in my life, and so I do always look for ulterior motives. But I admit that it's the most likely reasoning that they've simply fled out of fear. But I don't think we should necessarily dismiss the idea that something strange is afoot here. Something doesn't add up about this.
Indeed.
Right. Well, when I've got a minute, which might be a while because I've got rather a lot on, and I've got obviously some stew to give out, and Alithea, he's all looking really peaky, so he'll be wanting some more. I'll get down to the shore and see if they were cut adrift, possibly. Is there a severed hawser on a tree trunk or something where it was tied up?
I will get you to roll a perception on that one, William.
3, not good.
So you don't see anything that was cut in haste. There were some, stakes that they had tied to rope that were pulled up and are no longer there. And so, if anything, it seems like their departure was very intentional.
Yeah, that's what I concluded from that. Mm-hmm. Okay, I shall report that quietly to Mr. Tilston.
Not Sir James.
James, an idiot.
Okay, I've got. I'll probably need to stoke these fires up again.
Indeed, and so we're going to start wrapping down for the night. And there was one last thing that I did notice William was intending. He saw that Alithea was still looking a bit unwell, so he tried to give you some more stew, Alithea.
Oh no, I think he said I'm picky, so I believe he's not trying to do that.
William, did you hand Alithea another bowl of soup just to help pick him up?
Yeah, because if it's coming out like that, you need to get something down you. I know.
Oh no, thank you. No, it's a stomach thing, so I'd rather stop eating. But thank you. It was really good.
It was really good, was it? 4.
Yeah, I'll roll for Raph anyway, just for the fun of it. But you got to get negatives on the roll, Raph. So
that's not a problem. Yeah, I mean, he might think it's etiquette.
Yeah.
But actually, no. It's just 3 and 4 there. You only rolled a 1 and you get a negative, which is basically you got 0 wins. So William, he's
okay. Yeah, that was bullshit. Okay. Well, I keep the fires going. It'd be nice if I could get some sleep, but I'm strongly suspecting.
So James would definitely organise a rota. There's no question about that.
Yes, but would you think to put the servant in it?
I think you probably would under the circumstances. I think he knows you probably need 20 or 30 minutes of sleep a night.
And the fires, the night becomes clear, no threat of rain, thankfully, and the fires seem to be burning fitfully, and it's easy to get broken branches for firewood and things. It's actually not that difficult. You don't even need to move too far outside of the perimeter to just grab an extra broken branch that's lying on the ground to chuck it on a fire. So things go quite well for the setup, and it looks like the night will pass, hopefully, safely.
Oh, hang on. Was that a portentous
We can.
Episode teaser? What was that?
Well, we can end it there. There was one last thing that I think would be good to resolve for this session in the morning. It shouldn't take too long, but you're right. We're kind of reaching a good wrap-up point for this, the events of the session. So... one thing to investigate in the morning, if I get a chance, is I will walk off in the direction of where I think he dropped that dagger, and maybe I find it. And if it's where I think it is, he damn well dropped that deliberately. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so the morning, you all sleep fitfully enough, as well as you can through the night. And again, it seemed mostly peaceful as a forest gets, with rustling of the leaves in the canopy and the creaking of the branches and the odd scuffle here and there. The fires burnt well through the night. There was no rain. And you are now slowly arising. And Alithea.
My gosh, what is it with me?
And the DM laughed at the dice roll. You know,
he's looking us all up with an amazing.
I rolled a 1 to see. I rolled a destiny. I did a destiny roll to see what condition you would be in physically in the morning, and I got a 1.
Oh no! I'm like a zombie.
You can
elf.
barely get to your feet, sleeping amidst this iron hanging in the air, that scent, just breathing it in constantly. The iron-laced food that you ate, you are feeling horrible. You can bear to everyone around. It looks like you're on your deathbed. You're looking pale, sick, gaunt, and you have you're basically going to get a -2 on most of your dice rolls until you start to feel better. And and you barely can climb to your feet. You're feeling that under weather.
I understand.
So James shouts encouragement to him, so you should eat something, man. You look like you're weak, and breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Have you got some food for him?
My goodness, he's on death's door. It's like he has the plague, but without the spots. Don't touch him. You don't want to catch whatever he has.
It's all right. I'll get something ready for him.
So I'm going to be taking a little bit of a stroll around the general area to sort of get our bearings, see if I can see any potential threats, any particular directions we could head in, just generally scouting around.
Excellent choice. And I shall roll for you. So
by the way, I'd like to speak to Mr. Tillstone before he leaves.
Okay, so
Hello.
Matt, I rolled a 4 for that, but before you leave, Alithea, you kind of stagger to your feet, and you're feeling awful. Just even everything is a challenge for you right now.
Mr. Tillstone.
Yes, Alithea, are you feeling any better?
I'm feeling horrible.
I hear of strange ailments that people get when they go into regions like this, particularly into the forest. I'm sure you'll be fine when we get out.
Can I ask you for a favor?
It depends what it is, but you can ask away.
I'm happy to pay.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Can you please pick just a couple of apples from the forest, please? I think what I've eaten must have been bad for me, so I need to eat something else.
Of course, I'm more than happy to look out for some fresh fruit, although I must be honest with you, this doesn't look like the sort of countryside that is likely to have fruit trees, but I'll keep my eyes open.
To interject, just to fill something in that Alithea would be familiar with, is that you've probably felt ailments like this at different occasions, being outside of the Fae. And the things that have always helped you is when you've either been around or even consumed something that is more naturally abundant in the Fae. And you know that there are certain herbs that grow in the Fae and also grow here as well. And so I would then assume that your character probably would he'd probably describe if you could find this kind of plants in the forest, it would greatly help out. Now, I will quickly roll for you, Matt, to see if you actually are aware of this plant, and that'll impact your ability to find it. And so I'll roll for Tallinn. And do you have any survival, Tallinn, Matt?
No.
No.
Oh well, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No, you don't. But Raf, did you have survival?
I don't remember.
No.
Probably not.
So James has survival and William has survival. So, well, do you want to roll a perception, William, to see if you actually overhear this? Because you might be able to assist Talon in finding this plant that he's describing. Because
sorry, I rolled 2.
2, no. Actually,
if Mr. Tillstone tells me he doesn't know,
they're not too far away. You like 2 is enough. It's an uncommon task, so you do overhear this conversation before they leave. And so I'll roll
survival roll to see if I know. Yeah.
Yes, and it'll be uncommon. So challenge level 2.
That and that. So. Oh dear, it's another 2.
That was the challenge level. You succeeded.
Oh wow! Oh, it was easy. Oh, okay.
You hear the description of the plant that Alithea is describing, and you know it as Rishwood, the plant that you're familiar with, and it's a weed, but you know of Rishwood.
Oh, that sounds like Wishwood.
Yes, that's perfect. Very, very, very good. Yes, that's the one.
You rub it on. Rub it on your skin.
I know, but where I come from, we also use it to heal, and it really does work. So I would really appreciate it. I would be happy to, show my gratitude with.
Okay, well, I suppose now I have an opportunity to walk out in the direction where he may or may not have dropped that knife.
Yes, indeed.
So I get like the first go over the ground. Admittedly, it was in a wood at night, so I accept there's a fair chance I just won't find it, even though I've got some reasonable idea of roughly where it might be.
Should be quite a lot of disturbed ground, though. Where we came.
It might be in a big thing of nettles where it's next to,
Yeah.
It will be a difficult task to find the dagger, though there might be little things that could help you point you in the right direction to lower that difficulty level.
Well, I've just rolled. Well, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There we go. All right. So as William and Kindle walk into the forest, both looking for any signs of where you might go, animals, danger. William is also on the lookout for that dagger and also the Rishwood. And as luck would have it, he sees both as he is looking about, because the Rishwood made him look on the ground a bit more into the more, denser foliage. And by golly, he spies it right there. Dagger.
Right, and what would I naturally use to cut the Rishwood with?
A knife. And in fact, a dagger that's lying on the ground would be very useful for such a task.
I mean, it would be perverse not to.
Can you not just pick it? Foragers.
But I've just picked up a dagger, and there's the thing. It's right there. It would just be. It's the most natural thing in the world. I will definitely use this iron knife to harvest the wishwood. But anyway, I know what to do. You scrunch it up and you rub it on. It's sharp stuff. I mean, just the smell brings tears to your eyes. You couldn't eat it.
Wonderful. So before you head back, I got a 19 to determine if cutting the Rishwood with the dagger has any effect, and it actually doesn't. The Rishwood is still potent and perfectly fine for the utility in which you want to use it for. But Talon, as you're inspecting just around the perimeter, you certainly see some tracks of those wolves the other night, but everything else seems pretty normal from your perception. You don't see any sign of pygmies or ropes tied in the trees, but it is very dense. If trying to trudge through this woodland would be a pain, and you can definitely see why they, traveled between these two areas via riverboat, because this is a dense woodland, and it would be really difficult to try and get through it.
Okay.
All right. So you make your way back to the camp, then I assume. And William, I'll let you describe what you do with the Rishwood weed that you.
Well, Rishwood. My first thought is what to do with the dagger, because I think that I don't trust the guy who's supposedly sponsoring this entire trip. I'm somewhat iffy about this smooth-chinned guy who keeps making notes in the middle of the night. So I just, any opportunity to watch them bounce off each other and reveal themselves, their true characters, seems useful to me. So I think putting the dagger with the scribe's stuff, so it might later get discovered. And hey, hang on, you told me you'd lost this dagger, blah blah blah. It might come off an argument. So I think secreting it, amongst his stuff is the way forward here. So that done. I will. I've got no excuse to go over to him and to where his stuff is as well, because I may as well just ask him. Because I know what to do normally. This, sir. I would have it up in a pestle and mortar and get it into a paste, and then you just usually you dilute it a bit and rub it on your skin.
So, Alithea, you want to consume it. You would eat it as a leaf. And it has you react to it much differently being an elf, because this is actually a common garnish from where you're from.
No, you wouldn't want this raw. This is really, really sharp stuff. You have to cook it for a bit to take the edge off.
Can I have are we together? Are we speaking to each other?
Yes.
Yeah, I've come over to you.
Okay. Can I have a look at it, please?
I show it him. It's just in my hand.
Oh yeah, that's perfect, just as is. I'll show you how we use it. Just let me show you. It's a very specific process. Let me just show you.
Okay, I let him show me because, well, why not? It's an opportunity to learn.
I stuff it in my mouth. I suppose.
Right. His eyes not even water.
His countenance color comes back to his face almost immediately as he's munching down on this thing like a horse with this gristly, thick plant matter.
Yeah, I didn't even try to hide it because I thought that my character at the moment is not even thinking straight. So I just want to consume it. Okay.
Do you do it calmly, or are you putting on an act of suffering, or you just do it quite...
He is looking relieved. This is a pleasurable kind of thing as he's eating.
Okay. That's so amazing. I'm not sure what I've learned. Is it that this stuff is actually edible raw, in which case I've learned something amazing.
Did you want to try some yourself, William?
Well, I could charge for this knowledge. But on the other hand, maybe he's got some weird constitution.
I could charge for this knowledge.
Well, you'll have to think on that and let us know what your conclusion is. But you still have some of the plant left. There is always the opportunity to try it yourself. Maybe the scent is belying what it really is like in your mouth.
Well, I saw it was in the forest. I could always get another big bunch of it. I never thought. I would normally have used just even just half of one of those, and he's just put a bunch of them in.
Finchard comes up and is like, all right, we best gather round. So, what are you eating, man?
Oh, yes. Very nice.
It's eating this. Do you want to try some?
Yeah, he certainly looks like he's enjoying it. Puts it down. And he's gagging, he's spitting. God, buddy, what is it? Oh, he can't be eating. That's horrid stuff. Oh my God, Josh, you're eating that. How do you respond to Alithea as he points to you that was?
Yeah, I believe we might have a different constitution indeed.
Some things are an acquired taste. There's a particular type of wine that my father used to serve his guests, which had a very sort of tartness to it, which some people didn't find was very nice. So
tart's one way to put it. Do we have some wine anywhere, actually? I'll wash this out. And he starts rummaging about for something to clear his mouth out.
So I suppose I just stand up and
you actually are feeling better. You're not cured. You're still feeling all this iron about. You had a really rough night, but you now have -1 on all your rolls.
Okay.
And you feel more. You can walk much easier now. In fact, you could do with some more. You want to be munching on that every 10 minutes, basically, the way you're feeling.
Okay. Can I, Mr. William Kendall, may I purchase the rest you've got? May I pay you for your inconvenience.
Oh, you don't have to do that, sir. I know exactly where it was. There was loads of it growing out there. I thought I'd brought back too much of anything. Do you want me to get I'll go and get some more.
Yes, please. That would be splendid.
Okay, but obviously this time I'll harvest it with my own knife.
Finchard comes back munching on some, jerky that he pulled out of a pack. He's like, so what I was saying before, what are we going to do being strangers here now? Like, I don't think we can head back. It's far too far. We're much closer to Cragwater than the other place. And they actually have a dock just past Cragwater. We can catch a boat and get to where we want to go.
Are there any roads from this place? Or are we completely surrounded? There's no sort of...
Tarlin knows the answer to that, having scouted.
So there's no roads, I'm afraid. So we've either got thick woodland or we need to travel by water somehow. But of course, we don't have a boat. So the way I see it, Sir James, is we either make our way to this port or whatever. What is this settlement?
Well, there's a guard tower in between a small crevice, which opens up to the valley, the silver whatever valley beyond. And just past the guard tower, there is a small port, and usually the boats dock there, and in between there and Silverthorn. So if we want to find another boat, we're going to have to get past the guard tower and find one, and then we can get to where we're going.
And what? Who occupies this guard tower?
Oh, they should be men of Lord Sarek Crow. There should be men of Lord Crow, actually. And so I don't know about this business of them attacking other boats coming by, but that's who should be there. Would I know the name? I'll just roll to see if you do. Yeah, you've heard of Lord Crow. Silverthorn, his castle, is fairly like as it was previously established. This is one of the places where a decent amount of the silver ore comes from for the King's Mint, and where all the coinage is produced from. And so it's an important part of the kingdom. And Lord Crow is known to be quite wealthy. And you've even heard a little bit about Silverthorn itself, his castle. It's a large tower castle, said to be quite well fortified, but ugly. Like whoever designed it had no understanding for good castle sense. It's an ugly, large tower castle on the banks of the river that travels all the way up to the valley.
So tell me, do we have any other options here?
Hike through the forest?
Well, if I might say so, given this is a large navigable river on the way to a main king's port where they have the mint, I think we can expect a boat along pretty soon. But if I have everything ready so that we look like a ready-to-go and respectable party on the shoreline, it should be easier for us to get a ride.
I think
we also don't know how long we might wait for a boat, and we could go hunting, but we're certainly not equipped for a long stay here. I think we should probably head to this port and via this guard tower. If we can get any kind of other human contact, that can only be a good thing. And there's something strange going on in these woods.
We could follow the river. We could follow upriver, keeping a bank on one side, because you're not going to get lost. But I don't suppose there's any chance, William, you have any boat building skills in the family? We couldn't sort of quickly rig up some kind of masted vessel that we can...
I don't have my tools with me.
It's always the way, isn't it?
I know.
Foiled.
I packed for the wrong journey.
Shad, can I follow William in the forest? I want to see the spot.
Yes,
where
absolutely.
He found the stuff.
So we're there for some further discussion as to what's going on exactly, but it seems like a plan is, always returned to in the discussion as to the only option really that could be available to you. William and Alithea venture forth into the forest, and William knows the spot where he found the Rishwort, and there's a nice big, pile of it in the underbrush.
Okay, well, I take him to it. No reason not to, so I do. And I harvest a load for myself as well, and because it's amazing stuff.
Yes, so I also fill my pockets. Obviously, I just pick it, and then I suppose I see him cutting it with a dagger.
Yes.
Do I see him wince?
roll a perception.
Okay.
No, maybe not. Only 2.
Uncommon task. It depends if you're paying attention to it, but
I have a penalty. I have a penalty as well.
Yes. So I'll just roll for rough.
Yes.
No, you don't notice. You're just like, it's called something else where you're from, but it's called Rishwat here, and so you get piles of it, and
fantastic.
You're greatly relieved. And so it doesn't take long. Sorry, yes.
30 into the woods. Is there a wolf corpse there? Did the wolf die that I hit, or can you see anything? Because there's a wolf there, we could maybe eat it if we got into trouble.
You don't find a dead wolf. It doesn't take. It's not too difficult to find where the altercation happened. There's marks on the ground and stuff, and you knew the direction where you came from. And you do see some, spatterings of blood on the ground, but no corpse.
And spatterings of something else, I guess.
There's a smell in the air. But returning back to camp, is that the decision that you've all come to? Then you feel that you're much closer to the watchtower than you very much are from the settlement that you've come from. So is that where you're headed?
I think we go up river, but we stick with the river on one side of us and just make our way slowly and carefully to this watchtower. And I'll have a word with them, and they'll send help, I presume.
Is Sir James wearing his armor this whole time?
Did you take it off while you slept?
No, I didn't. I took my helmet off.
Now, stepping outside of character a little to rely on your expertise here, would that actually make you particularly sore sleeping your armor overnight, or is there a potential penalty that might arise?
Depends on the shape of your in my experience, it depends on the shape of your back and breast. I didn't find it. I have slept in it, and it was remarkably uncomfortable, but I did actually sleep. I found I needed an extra. I had to sort of sleep propped up. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was an extraordinarily uncomfortable night's sleep, but I did actually fall asleep. I didn't think I was going to.
That's actually really interesting. So what I'll roll a good old destiny dice to see how you went in your night's sleep, if there's any potential. And got a 16. You got a 16, so you're quite accustomed to it. Actually, you've done it before, and it obviously was far more uncomfortable than normally, but you're something you're accustomed to, used to. And so
I think William's going to have a bit of de-rusting to do.
Finchard.
That's what he's paid to do.
I assume it's properly oiled.
Yeah.
Finchard approaches you, Talon, and says, "Now, about that dagger, you said you had some wares to sell. Tell me, what do you have?"
Well, I open up my what is it? It's a coffer, essentially, isn't it? It's a chest, I mean, you can decide what I've got in there, because I think there'll be a random element to that, won't there? So
yeah, definitely. So I got a 10, so it's basically standard stuff, and there is a decent dagger there, ready to be sold on hand that you're able to pull out. But that's basically the general discussion that you're bartering with Finchard as you're all starting to pack up the camp to venture down on the shoreline towards this watchtower to figure out, well, if you don't exactly know what's going on with this watchtower. All you know is that it fired or shot upon the barge last time it tried to pass. But you're going to need to pass it somehow, or do something to get to the dock on the other side of this crevice in the waterway.
So, I would put it to the others in the party. Given that we know that this tower somehow attacked the barge previously, we don't know why. They haven't really answered that question. Are we better being up front and approaching the guard tower, or are we better trying to skirt around it?
I personally think that Sir James would offer to go and have word with them and find out what's going on while the others all stay back. I think it would sort of try and just assume the best, and would sort of go and in plain sight and say, "Ho, the tower, we need help," and see what happens. I think he's likely to offer that as a solution, but you may not want to take his advice.
Well, there is a third option as well, and that is that we let Sir James do that while we hang back and conceal our general location to see if he can gain us safe passage, rather than us all risking either being shot on or captured or having just our stuff taken, which I'm particularly keen to try and avoid.
I think that would be very strategic. I think that's something he would suggest as well. I mean, he's got some strategy and tactics there, so he's not. He may be stupid, but he's not an idiot. He is, but no. But he would say, "I will go and find out, and you just hang back here and keep busy, and William, polish something."
William.
Excellent. So that is the plan at the moment as our heroes venture forth along the riverbed towards the watchtower. And this is also a good point where we shall end this game session, or this arc in it, coming to a close. I have to admit, I wasn't exactly expecting an adventure with bowel movements, but it turned out to be rather hilarious. And it appropriately fit in with everything that was happening. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for watching as well. We look forward to seeing you next time. So until that, I shall say farewell. And gentlemen, you're more than free to say goodbye as well.
Bye.
Bye.